Hello everyone and welcome back to the C&D podcast, episode 19. And today we're doing a double film review. Ooh. But they're also both related to episodes we've done prior. So we're going to start off with The Vanishing, which was our first mystery podcast to do with the lighthouse keepers and the Flannan Isles.
The Flannan Isles.
The Flannan Isles. Not Flanagan. Yeah, so I don't know how to start with this.
If you did listen to last week's podcast, by the way, I just want to apologise. I was high on Monster Energy.
I think you were crashing.
If it seemed like I was a bit giddy, it's fine. We'll go again. No, they don't know that this is recorded 3 in a row, do they?
No, but we're...
Wait, I can't. It's fine.
Alright, so today we're going to talk about The Vanishing, and we're also going to talk about OldBoy. But we're going to do this in two halves, so at some point I'll put a timestamp somewhere. So if you only want to listen to OldBoy, you can listen to that later. That's how timestamps work. What are we doing?
What? Are you alright?
No. No, I'm not alright. Okay.
So The Vanishing was a film that came out in 2018. It is based on the 3 disappeared lighthouse keepers of the Flannan Isles that we did cover in the previous podcast.
Yeah.
We have both since watched the films. Danny went out and bought a Blu-ray version, and he kindly dropped it off to me.
Yeah. Did you watch the Blu-ray version?
Yeah.
Okay, alright, I'll take that as a convincing no. So I also watched the behind-the-scenes footage as well, which I kind of want to touch on. I wasn't really paying much attention to it, because it was just like...
Yeah.
There was like a few little like key information, but most of it was just like, this is how we make clothes, and this is how we shoot a scene, and kind of things like that. It wasn't like too involved in the story, which I was kind of annoyed about, because I was actually interested in how the story was like formulated. But one thing that I will point out that was mentioned in the behind the scenes was that it's set in the 30s, and I don't know why. I can't work out why the film was set in the 30s.
What?
Yeah, I don't know why they've changed the time period. The only thing Phoebe said was that maybe the clothes were different, and the clothes from the 30s are just easier to reproduce. But otherwise, like, there's no reason for them to be in the 30s.
No.
The only other thing I can think of is the radio. Remember they had the radio in the film?
Yeah.
But that didn't even work. So, like, it wasn't even
It was
part
a plot point that was just not even
Yeah,
used.
it's a plot point that never got used. It was just a bit
Considering the fucking incident happened like 1990, whatever it was.
It was 1900.
1900.
Yeah.
Like 30 years, like...
Why did they do that? That's... Yeah, so that was
30
the only
years
thing.
is not a long time for clothing, let's be honest. I've still got underwear from 25 years ago.
Alright, let's not... let's not go into that.
What? No, they don't fit now, because I'm 29, mate. I'm just saying, like, they're not ripped or anything, like...
But yeah, I don't. Yeah, that was one thing I wanted to bring up, because I just don't understand that.
No, me either.
And even watching the film, like, because I obviously watched the film first and then did the behind this, I didn't even notice that like it was the wrong period, because nothing has changed in like those 30 years. Like,
Yeah.
Like I said, it's either the clothing or the radio, and I don't know why.
I watched it and I was like, oh, this looks fine.
Yeah, this looks like 1900s. Like, yeah. So the cast was amazing. I think every character.
Oh yeah.
Every character was like, no one like stood out as bad. So I think that's always a good casting.
Oh great, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And it's just the tension. There was just so much tension in that film. Fuck.
The interesting point for me is I did enjoy the I can't remember what the guy's name is. The kind of the kid of the three.
Yeah.
He's a very good actor. I really like his work. And I think that probably one of his breakout roles. He played one of the guys in a TV series, Sex Education, which I thought was a very good TV series.
Oh yeah, Phoebe was saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, and he brought a lot to the role. But
I think all three of them were brilliant. Oh, all the three of the main cast. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
It brought a whole new element to the questions that I had. It's like I didn't realize Mercury played a big hand in the lighthouses back then.
Yeah. And that was one of the plot points as well that also never really got mentioned again.
See, I think it did.
Do you reckon? There was another scene later where you saw the mercury dripping again, and then they didn't like. Unless
but that's what I wanted to bring up. Like, there was the puddle there again, randomly on this scene where he's staring out of the thing, and I'm like, that's touched him. Because not long after that, he started to go fucking mental.
Yeah.
And mercury poisoning does make you go fucking mental.
Oh, does it? I haven't looked much into mercury poisoning.
It's one of the things I searched, as well as the dog. The dog was never mentioned in the thing.
The dog?
Was it a real dog? Who knows? Or was it just a film?
I think there was a dog on the island. But
what happened to the dog? That's what I want to know. That's a real
dog.
question.
Sorry.
I didn't... Did you say? I thought I said dog.
Yeah, I thought you said dog. Sorry.
No, dog. Like.
Yeah, there wasn't a dog. I think the dog was just. Yeah, I think that was just part of the plot, wasn't it? Like. But yeah. Oh man, it was a good film. There will be spoilers in this. I should probably mention that now. So.
Oh yeah, I mean it's 2018. If you haven't watched it now, I'm sorry, but.
Yeah, no.
Do what we can to avoid big ones, but actually, no, we probably will bore the big ones, but. But yeah, so the basic plot of the story.
Yeah.
Was, it was obvious that the main guy had lost his wife to some sort of death or injury or sickness.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing mentally well, so he probably signed up to go onto that one. There was a young lad who was probably doing his first job out there, and we had like an old veteran who's been there for years. I think they both had been there for years, but
yeah.
They travel to the island. They're all getting along. Everything's going fine until there's a massive storm, this is the first time we see the mercury from the lighthouse.
Yeah.
It kind of all tips out. They all kind of get all this protective gear on, like leather stuff, like iron, like lead-based things, and it's made clear to the point they tell you, don't get it on your skin. It's hammered hard. This is why I think we got questions of why it was never pushed on.
Yeah.
It's like, don't get it on your skin, lad. Like that, you know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
And it gets cleaned up. Next day, they're out looking at about, and they see a ship, and it's broken up, and there's a body there. So they send the lad down, and there's a crate. They put up the crate, and it's not immediately said what's in the crate, although it's quite heavy. Next thing you know, the lad's getting beaten in the head with the back of the head with a rock.
Yeah, that shook me. I did. I was like,
it made me jump
because he checked the body for like if he was breathing or whatever, and then
I was questioning that. Like, is he shit? Like,
yeah, he must have just been shit at checking for bodies. Yeah,
he had his hand on there for like 8 seconds or something like that. I was like, mate, how is he alive now then?
Yeah. And then also, if he's alive, why is? I mean, I'm guessing he's watching his gold get like taken away. So he's like, oh fuck, I better attack him. But yeah, and they're like, oh, don't worry, lads, we need to get the gold up now, and get the crate up.
Yeah. See, my question is, yeah, but here's the thing: why not climb down? You got to get the big guy down there, and then because the rope's already down there, why you got to bring it up to bring it down? Because it's the same situation you'd be dealing with: one person holding the rope, one going down.
I think because the rope was tied around his body, wasn't it, when he went down?
Yeah.
So they'd already tied up the crate in that rope. So yeah, he could kind of like what do you call it when you like
shimmy down? Yeah.
Yeah, like abseil down. I guess he could have done that, but like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. No, you're right.
Because both instances, they would have got the crate up. One of them would tied, gone down anyway. It just decision. I think panic leads to a lot of the decisions in this film. So Matey Boy starts getting drowned. Panic, panic, panic. He finds a rock in the water, smashes Matey Boy over the head. The guy's dead. Brown bread. They healed up the laddie. He's obviously a bit shook. And it boils down to them not opening the crate for a couple of days until I think what's the term? Like curiosity got the better of the older man, and he had a look, and he found gold. So the kind of head lighthouse man found the gold, and he didn't tell anyone.
I think he still wanted to take it back to shore.
He wanted to, no, he was going to radio it in at one point. And so next day, the other two didn't know what was in the box, obviously. Wait, did they know when the other two turned up? Did they know what was in the box at that point?
I think they looked themselves, and then by that point, all three of them knew. Yeah,
that's it. Because the kid was that's it. The kid was
he was like
going through it for killing that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's killed the guy. I feel so terrible. I need to know why I did it. What he was protecting so viciously for. So I think something happened. The old guy comes in. They've opened the box and they're celebrating, obviously, the gold. At that point, he's like, "Oh shit, we need a plan." So there's a plan being drawn up, and as they're talking about it, next day, there's a ship arriving, and it turns out that the guy on the little dinghy was apparently, I don't know if they were friends. It's never really explained, but they were either complicit in the gold being stolen, because let's be honest, it's probably all stolen. Or he was running away from them because he didn't want the gold to be stolen, or something like that. But they knew of the gold's existence. They knew that he knew the gold was there.
Yeah. But
they kind of just denied it. The lighthouse keeper's like, "Hey, no, there's no gold here, no." I don't know, where's the accent coming from? Anyway, they're like, "No, there's no gold here.
Yeah.
We haven't seen your guy jog on, basically."
Oh, it's so tense. And like, I don't know. I don't know what I'd do in that situation. Just like get the fuck off my island. Like,
yeah.
You know, well, what can you do? Like,
exactly. So they have a show of force. It's 2v3. The two decide to fuck off, and the matey boy and one of the most experienced guys goes to work on the radio. Now, this is a weird part for me. So, as they're going away, the radio, they're testing the radio to see if they get a reply. Now, they're pinging the radio like, but they can't hear anything. So the radio operator goes, lighthouse 17, or whatever it is, and then for some reason the guys in the boat get annoyed about this and turn back. Like, I
don't know if like,
oh, they've lied to us. It's not their radio, but they know that's lighthouse. They know the lighthouse number because he tells them, and the person on the radio confirms that, and he's like, "Well, how have they lied to you if it's the same lighthouse number, but you just can't hear that lighthouse?"
Yeah,
that's a plot hole for me. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know why they turned back, but yeah. So, and then after that, they circle the island until it basically becomes nighttime. At which point, I think does the dog bark or something, and then they're like, "Oh, they're on the island," like, somehow.
Yeah.
Despite the fact they were watching the boat, they must have like slept off it. I don't know how you do that. At night time,
I think the first initial like half the day was trying to find an entry point, and when it went dark, because it stops for a while, and I think that's when they did it, because they might have had it like drifting for a little bit, and then it stops, and then by that time they've already climbed up the side of it, or they found another way up.
Yeah.
How the fuck they got up there, I don't know, but they find another way up, and a massive fight breaks out. People get stabbed, people get knocked on the head. The two guys eventually succumb to their injuries, getting strangled out by the bigger lad. And
it's a
now
really
everybody's
good film. Like,
it really is.
Like,
now everyone's clocked a body.
and everyone like and everyone's like. The thing is, because of the mystery behind it all, like any one of them could die. Like as well, there's that.
Yeah.
It's not like when you're watching James Bond, you're like, oh, James Bond's gonna live because he's fucking James Bond, you know. Like, it's like any of these characters could die like at any time.
100%, yeah.
There's that intensity to it, and it's
Like one of them gets stabbed. Like the older guy gets stabbed in the leg as well.
Yeah.
And it was only the Scottish man coming back, the beefy one, Geralt, whatever his fucking name is.
Yeah.
What's his name again? Geralt Butler. And Geralt Butler came back and clocked Matey Boy in the head with a pole, like.
Yeah.
And then strangled him out, UFC style. But after that, they kind of. It's not really explained what they did to the bodies. Oh, yes, it is. They went on the boat, didn't they? And dumped them in the ocean.
Yeah. So they dumped in the ocean, so there was no evidence that they'd been there.
So they dumped the bodies, and then something kind of snaps in the older one's head. He feels so guilty about self-defending himself that he kind of just unexplainedly goes a bit crazy.
Well, he kills that kid, doesn't he? As well.
Oh, that's why it was. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
There was another person aboard the ship who came on land, and it was just this kid.
It reminded him of his own. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the guy spots him. Now I watched the film. I didn't spot the kid in the window. Gotta be honest with you.
Oh, yeah.
I looked.
I did, but.
I looked and I was like, where the fuck? He's got eyes of a hawk. But the younger lad goes, we're not alone. And the next thing you know, the kid's sprinting. You got Geralt Butler on his thing with like a sickle type object, slices him in the throat and he dies. And that's where he's kind of he goes a bit doolally.
I was so tense. I was like, fuck, there's gonna be more, like like another ship's landed or something. Like, oh dear.
I thought he knew him at the time because the way the camera had like shown him. I don't think I knew him though in the film.
Well, when he first when he first did it, I was like, has he done it to his own son or something? Like he was very so like you said, almost like he knew him or something. Like, but I think it was just that reflection of his own son that he was seeing.
Now, this is where, for me, the theory of the mercury poisoning comes into play.
Yeah.
Because, yes, it's a kid. I get that. But you're also making a lot of money on gold. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah.
He stands between you and your freedom because he will tell someone you've just killed 2 people. So it's self-preservation at the end of the day. Back then, though, different time. I mean, it's not worth it now. But we all did new DNA evidence get caught out in a week. But back then, it was doable.
Yeah.
So
he went mad, and he killed the younger lad.
Yeah. So he killed the young lad outside.
That took me a. Oh no! Sorry, he killed him. He killed the younger lighthouse keeper, didn't he?
Oh yeah, so about probably like a week after, like a few days go past.
I think it was a day or two, yeah.
Day goes 2, yeah. His mental state starts deteriorating a lot more. For some reason, he's turning on the horns of the lighthouse and then leaving them on, and then just he's magically back in the house. Like he's doing weird shit.
Yeah.
He's
living in the chapel.
Yeah,
which isn't a toilet.
Look, no, it's not. No, we learned that.
Yeah.
That's a whole set of another religion.
No reference.
Yeah. And he ends up coming back to the group. At this point, audience is left to think, oh, okay, he's actually apologized. He apologized for not feeling himself. He asked to go get the guy's special rum from the storage room and then some cake. The young lad goes, oh, and some of your cake. And then the guy goes, how do you know about that, you cheeky beggar? Or something like that. And the audience is left to believe that everything's fine.
Yeah.
And then the door closes, and then you start hearing a struggle. And it cuts to him, Gerald Butler, locking the door, turning around, and the kid has a look of just like he knows he can't run, he knows he can't talk him out of it,
Yeah.
and he knows he's about to die. But I've rewatched that scene. To his left, there's a pan. To his right, there's a knife. The guy is 25 feet away from him. Why are you just standing there?
I mean, I think it's that just fear, isn't it? People, I mean, I'd probably be the same. It's just that, like, oh, suddenly now we're all mates, and now I'm going to kill you. Like, it's that sudden switch of, like, just shock. Like,
no, I get that, but it's just like
and he's a big man.
Where's your fight for survive? Yeah, but a knife will cut that half. Like, you cut a tree with a blade.
Yeah. I guess the kid's already killed 2 people, so he's a bit like numb to it now, anyway. But yeah,
true. So, Gerald Butler ends up killing the kid. And the bigger guy comes out, sees what's happened, clocks him with a fucking pan. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Should have done it to begin with. They say they have to go. They don't take the dog, by the way. Never see the dog again. Dog gets left there.
Did the dog get killed?
I don't know why.
Or...
No. He just left there, mate.
Oh.
Crazy.
I'll be honest. I don't like. I don't remember.
Yeah, dog's left there. They take the 2 intruders' boat and then go and sail away.
Yeah.
Like really abruptly, so that's where it kind of fits into like everything was left as it is, that sort of stuff.
It fits in with the theory like so well as well.
Yeah, and
yeah,
there was no damage to any of the moorings or anything like that. So, as they're kind of sailing off to new ventures with the gold, Gerald Butler starts to go a conscience, and he goes, "Yeah, can I go on? You're gonna have to take me out." And then the old guy's like, "Nah, man, don't want to do it." And then Gerald Butler,
yeah,
Gerald Butler's just kind of like, "Please, I need to do this." So they dump some extra other bodies off the water, and then Gerald Butler kind of just flips into the water. He's kind of they share a moment of I don't want to do it, but I'm gonna have to. And then Gerald Butler's like, "You can do it, no bother." And then he kind of dunks him his head underwater. For like a few seconds, he struggles, and then he succumbs to the watery grave, where his body sinks into the ocean. The camera pans out, and it's just the old guy there with about $30,000 worth of gold.
Yeah. Mad. But yeah, touching on like the real life situation, like
yeah,
it was little things like I said with you on the message, like the flag not being tied down properly, which obviously when it did storm that would have blown away.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything being left squeaky clean. Like even like the bodies are like. Well, yeah, I was gonna say they got buried, but they didn't. They just got thrown off the edge of the edge of the boat. So yeah, wild. Eh?
It's an interesting theory.
I think the film would have been better if it ended with the 4th lighthouseman coming to find it all. I think that would have tied it up nicely. Whereas it just ended like it's just had an open ending where it's just him on a boat.
I don't like those endings because I have questions.
Yeah, and I feel like the fact that the real life situation would have just tied it up quite nicely. Like, oh, they're all missing. Like, I mean, it wouldn't have added to the story, but it would have been a nice ending, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, out of all though, I give it a solid 9 out of 10 for film.
Wow, that's pretty high.
I agree.
I thought it was a good film. I don't know. I was gonna give it an 8 or a 7. Yeah, it was good.
I think actually thinking about it, because of the ending, 7.5.
Yeah, and I think like I don't know. I felt a bit sad when the kid died for sort of no reason. Uh, um, yeah, I give it. I give it a 7 then. Yeah, it's still a good film. Like I'd recommend watching it. All right, Craig. So we're going to move into a section I'm going to call Phoebe's notes.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, yeah, yep.
So that was the most unnatural transition ever. Right. So we're gonna... Okay. So this is for The Vanishing, which you just mentioned. This is definitely still the same podcast. So so Phoebe's given it a 7.5 out of 10. Oh, hang on. This is just the story. Bear with me. Okay, hang on. All right. Okay. So the story is 7.5 out of 10. It has a compelling plot and a good setting up of the background and characters without any awkward exposition. Trusted the audience to understand what was happening and work it out for themselves, which I think, yeah, that's pretty good. I do like it when a film doesn't, blatantly hold your hand. It links well to the original tale and gives a plausible answer to the mystery. Although it's unlikely to have been a true account of what happened, which is true. I mean, I think the fact that there's...
I doubt that happened, yeah.
I think there's such a lack of information that it's quite a nice place to put a story in.
It allows you to kind of create your own narrative, but keep close to the truth and what happened.
Yeah, but there's so little truth that it's quite nice.
You can write your own narrative.
Yeah. Acting is a 9 out of 10. Everyone give a solid performance. Okay. And really solved the tension in every scene. Yeah, I thought that as well, actually. I don't think there was one character that, was shit. Or, you know what I mean? Everyone played their part really well. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say 9. I'd say 10.
Yeah, probably, Yeah, I'd actually probably give it a 10. Directing, she's given it an 8 out of 10. Really good sense of atmosphere.
How can you kind of judge the directing though? You weren't on set.
I guess you could judge the shots and the stuff like that. I think the island. I mean, I don't know where they filmed it, but I'm guessing I mean, I
imagine they did use some of the island. No, that would be. I mean, it's an easy on-set location to film because it's very remote.
Yeah. So I don't know. They should give it an 8 out of 10. A really good sense of atmosphere, and some really nicely shot scenes, done in only a few takes. That again add to the tension. I think the tension in the whole film was the key part of the film, really. Oh,
mate, it was brilliant. I couldn't tell you what was going to happen next, and I think that was the most gripping part about it.
Yeah, I think like you said, with the adding to the original story, she's given the music a 6.5 out of 10. I don't actually remember any of the music in that film. So, I think the lack of it helped with the tension. But if there was music, then it was very subtle. She says it didn't overpower scenes and suited the story. The music was almost not needed as the silence was best. So I guess it's kind of a hard thing to score because there wasn't really much.
I can agree with her, actually. There's some, for instance, when he's about to kill the kid at the very end, with the strangling. I don't remember any music, and I think the music probably would have taken away from it. Because I feel like him locking the keeper into the storeroom, if you added a like that, it wouldn't have kind of made.
Yeah.
It would have counted towards the eeriness. The eeriness without the music probably counted more towards that overall effect, and it hadn't.
Yeah. She give the cinematography an 8 out of 10, which I'm not sure how that's different from directing, but. She just. I
think
says...
cinematography lines up shots, how the scenes are laid out, or maybe I don't know.
She just says, "I'll be honest, I don't really know the difference between what this person does and the director." So I don't know. I don't know why she wrote that.
She's graded it without knowing what it is.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, I mean, being like a cinematographer and a director is, I suppose, quite similar. Like, the director, I guess, gets the final say. Like, you could come up with nice shots and be like, "Oh, what do you think about this?" And the director will go, "Yeah, that's cool." But the director normally has a vision for it, doesn't he? So, overall, she gave it an 8 out of 10.
I think the director has the vision, but the cinematographer brings it to life, I think.
Yeah.
What did she give it?
An 8 out of 10.
Nah, Phoebe, I'm sorry, you're on crack. That's 9 out of 10.
No, the whole film.
Yeah, 9 out of 10.
Really? That's even higher than your score was earlier.
I know, I changed my mind.
Not even 5 minutes ago, it was an 8. Or something.
Ah, I've changed my mind after listening back.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just remember the film a lot, but I really like it. I think it's an 8.5 out of 10.
No, really?
Yeah.
I'm still going, what did I say, 7.5?
You gave it like a 7.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still a 7.
Really?
Yeah, maybe...
Wow.
Fuck, I don't know. There were still bits of it where I was a bit like, it could have been better. But, like I said before, like about having like the ending where it's like the rescue, the relief boat comes and finds nothing. I think that would have been nice.
Yeah. Would have been good, I guess.
Or even like have that over the credits almost, like as the credits.
What, playing in the background as the credits roll, kind of thing.
Yeah, just like, oh, where's everyone? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I still give it. I'll give it a 7.5. All right, you push me. All right, so that was. Phoebe says it was a good movie, and it stuck with her for a while afterwards. The feeling of it felt more like a play in action rather than a shot-by-shot Hollywood movie, and could have easily been a stage production because of the story and the acting were the main force. But it's great to see the setting of. Great to see the setting. I feel the force of nature at work. I guess, yeah, it's
Yeah, I know what she means by that. Yeah.
Yeah. But there you go. That was Phoebe's notes. All right. Let's move on to the second film, which you've definitely seen now. OldBoy.
OldBoy, 2003, directed by Park Chan-wook, I think it was.
Yeah. So the reason for this film was because it was at the bottom of both of our blind rankings. Because we've never heard of it, ever.
No, not at all.
Yeah. And because of that, I decided to punish us both by making us watch it.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what I did to have that punishment, but yeah.
Phoebe said that we should watch it because it is one of those highly acclaimed films. Now, this is the original South Korean version of the film. There is an American remake, which is just trash, apparently. So it sort of follows a similar story, but it's Americanized. I feel like sort of similar to like Squid Games. It's sort of like that South Korean culture is embedded in the film. You can't take it out of South Korea.
Yeah.
Without losing something, like without losing. But yeah, should we talk about the film? I can't quite remember how it starts. He starts off just getting arrested a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah. So he gets arrested, but then I can't remember exactly what happened. He gets kind of kidnapped and put in like a windowless room.
His mate like bails him out of jail and turns around and he's like gone.
Yeah. So he kind of wakes up in like a windowless room.
Yeah.
How long is it? It's like 15 years, right?
I think it was. I want to say it was 10, but maybe it was 15.
I think it's between 10 and 15 years.
Yeah. And
he only kind of there's no windows. And I think he has like a little TV, doesn't he?
Yeah. So he has a TV. It's almost like a hotel room actually. When I saw the description, I was expecting it to be like a proper like jail kind of thing, like a prison. But it looks just like a hotel room. Like, got his little TV and his little bed and like little toilet
something
area.
you pay 20 quid a night for.
Yeah. But he's like trapped in there. So yeah, and he gets his food through like a little tray and the door, a little dinner tray through the door. And yeah, so he's there for 10 years and he goes a bit mad.
A little bit mad, to say the least. Yeah.
I can't quite remember. So he gets like drugged, doesn't he? And then he's like wakes up on the roof of a building.
Yeah, it's just like suddenly he just gets like released.
Yeah.
And then he's given, what is it, 5 days to find out who did it and why?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think it was 5 days.
And then he comes out with, I think it's like a phone and then like a wad of money or something.
Yeah, and he has a thing that tells him to go to that restaurant as well. Is that Chopsticks or something? I can't remember now. But basically, that's like his only clue. I can't
remember if that was everything.
How do you mean?
I know he got a phone, money, chopsticks, and something. I can't remember. Was it something else?
Yeah, I don't remember. I think that was it. I think it was just the phone because he had to be called and the money. But yeah, he was given 5 days to find out who had imprisoned him for 10 years. And the film's kind of like it's so many genres. Like I said before, like when I was showing it to you, like it's kind of funny because like he hasn't like interacted with humans in like 10 years, so he's like it's kind of like that comedic effect. So he goes to the so he has the I think it was Chopsticks, wasn't it? It was something like that. He had a clue basically, and he had to go and he was like, well, that's a clue because they buy the food from there. So he goes to the restaurant and he meets this lady who's working there. And then does he tell her his story? I can't even remember now.
I can't remember her name.
I can't remember her name either.
Midu?
Let's say it is.
His name is Dae Suon.
Yeah.
I can't remember the other woman's name. It's gonna bug me.
So, does he? I can't remember. Does he pass out or something? There's some reason for him to go back to her house, wasn't there? I think he passes out, doesn't he? And then he wakes up in her home because they've like sort of fallen for each other.
That was it, yeah.
Yeah. So he's sort of investigating and trying to remember what happens next. Does he finds? I think he just finds the building he was imprisoned in, doesn't he? Pretty much.
Yeah. So he finds the building.
Yeah. And
he kind of starts to unveil the mystery of like kind of what happened to him. Now he discovers that his captor is quite a rich man. I can't remember, I think it's Lee something his name. And he is ultimately handed a choice, basically. If he can find out the truth, the man will kill himself. But if he fails, then the main guy, Daesu, will actually die. Which is a bit of a weird concept.
Yeah.
It's almost like a game of you or me.
Yeah, it was it's a weird thing to set up. So he finds the building that he was imprisoned in again, just by tracking them down, basically. And I don't know. He follows a delivery boy, doesn't he? And then he goes into the building, And then it's like, and then he has like one of the best fight sequences like ever filmed or something.
Great.
Yeah, it was like. I don't even know how long it was now. It was like a good, like, I don't know, 5 minutes or something. Maybe not that long, but yeah, like a good, like
3 minutes 41. The corridor scene in Yoruba, aren't you?
Yeah. Oh, what a shot! Like,
I think I read somewhere it was like shot. That whole corridor shot was in one take or something.
It's in one take. Yeah, that was mad.
There's just a bunch of guys with steel pipes and shit just hanging out. And like 30 of the fuckers.
Yeah, it was such a well shot scene. And actually, rewind a little bit before it, where he was like, about to hammer some guy in the head, and like the little dots come up of like where he should throw the hammer.
Yeah,
that's funny. But yeah, there's just like
looking at a scene back now, it's very good.
Yeah, there's just like bits of comedy just like layered in. I would say the action. I would say that was like the peak of the action. Like, was that scene?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that's such a good shot.
Especially with one take as well.
Yeah, especially in one take. They tried to recreate it in the American one. I don't know. I haven't actually seen it, so I don't know how good it was. But basically, they were sort of like, "Oh, we can't remake the film and not have that scene remade as well." So yeah, I'll have to watch that one day. But I don't know. anything like it's just gonna be
that version.
It's just gonna be disappointing, isn't it? So yeah. Yeah, that was such a good scene. So he gets out of the building, doesn't he? And then I can't quite remember what happens next. Does he go to the school then?
No, I think that's a little bit later, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels like it's a bit later, but I can't remember what happens in between.
I know that.
Do they go on a road trip?
He finds out that Woojin and he were classmates. Or went to the same school or something.
Yeah.
And then he finds out that he was in an incestuous relationship with his own sister.
Whoa, that's to the end of the film, that was.
Oh, I know, but you still kind of like that thing, isn't it? So
he doesn't know that
we
yet.
missed the whole thing first about his daughter.
Sorry?
We've missed the whole piece about him shocking his own kid.
Yeah, because that's at the end of the film. He doesn't know yet. But yeah, they have some sexy time, and you don't really think anything of it, really. Like, I mean, the relationship kind of happened a bit quickly, and like, if it was a crazy man.
Well, you said that to me. You said that it did feel like very rushed.
Yeah,
I agree with you. It did, yeah.
Like, and if there was a crazy man who's like quite clearly being attacked, wouldn't you just like leave him? I don't know. A guy that you've known for like a week, and like there's a lot of people who want to kill him like on the way.
Yeah, but I suppose that's the question for society. If you saw someone being attacked by what, like, would you help them? Like,
yeah, I guess I was just it just seemed a bit fast for someone that they've known for a week, and also they didn't really get on either. Like, I didn't feel like at the beginning they were just kind of arguing and like, yeah,
it's typical daddy-daughter problems.
Oh no. So he does go to the school because he, like I said, I think he must have found out that they were classmates. Oh, it was the his mate found out on the computer, didn't he? And then they went.
You're right. He did, yeah.
Yeah, then he went to the school. And
that's when they. Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
So he had a weird flashback of his time at that school because he wasn't there very long, and he started a rumor that this guy and his sister were shagging. I don't know. I don't know if the film tells us if they were or not. It was sort of like,
I thought it was heavily implied that they did.
Yeah, I think they did. It was just, I don't know. Yeah, I guess they did then, and it was sort of like implied that she was pregnant, but she wasn't. Yeah, that was the rumor. I think the rumor was that she'd been impregnated and she hadn't.
No, yeah, I think that was what ultimately led to her doing what she did.
Yeah, so she left the face of the earth. Yeah. And that is what started the revenge plot of imprisoning the main character.
Yep.
The flashback scenes were cool. They were sort of like, I'd say like grayscale, but they were kind of like, I don't know. It's like when Breaking Bad goes to Mexico. It's like that, like very yellowy and yeah. But they were cool.
It's like it's enough of one where you know it what it is, but it doesn't take away from the theme.
Yeah.
It's not like a whooshing like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it didn't hold your hand like you know.
It's like you said. It's like the Breaking Bad yellow hue.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very much like
that. It trusted you enough to know what it was without going, "Hi guys, just let you know this is a flashback."
Yeah.
Which I appreciate. I appreciate not being called a dumbass when I'm watching a film.
Yeah. So then, does he go to find him? I think at his house, at his mansion. Oh, yeah, top floor flat apartment.
Yeah, he does.
Where he sort of like explains that the woman he's been with the whole time is actually his daughter. And yeah, I love the shots in the apartment. Like there was one scene where he's like talking to the camera, like to the right side, and the main character's like in the back, but like also still in focus. Like they're both really in focus, and it's like a proper world. I don't know. It's a really good shot. He's just like monologuing into the camera, basically, like saying, "Oh, you done this and this," but he's like not.
I remember the monologue part, but I don't remember like the other guy being in focus. So it's probably a detail I missed. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the film's based on an anime, I think, or.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Or maybe like I don't know. Is it still an anime if it's on paper?
A comic?
Yeah, kind of like a comic, but yeah. I don't know actually. I don't know if it's still. I guess it's not an anime if it's on comic. But yeah, it's based off that, like off one of those. So like a lot of the shots were also based on that. I think that was one of them. Yeah. So like having like the two characters both in focus and like, but also really far away, and yeah, it's a really well done shot.
Right.
But yeah, he's just like monologuing into the camera, but like off, like not off center kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I like that. That's such a good shot. But yeah, it's also I can't remember if it's at that point. It's probably early. I think it is way earlier in the film actually, where he discovers that he has a like kill switch for himself.
Yeah.
He got like a new heart put in or something, and then he was like, "Oh, would you please give me a little switch so I can just kill myself one day?"
That was weird. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was basically like, once he's like, I don't know, once he's done his revenge, he's just like, yep, my life's done now. Like his only reason for living was to be with the girl firstly, or be with his sister. And...
First, he cuts out his own tongue, doesn't he?
Oh, he does, yeah. Because he doesn't want the daughter to find out.
Yeah, I honestly didn't need to go that far. Just don't say anything. I don't think the tongue would have made much difference.
Yeah, that was fucking gross, wasn't it? I've forgotten about
that. Yeah, you just blocked out because of trauma, mate.
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, that was pretty fucking horrible.
Yeah, it's Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Oh dear. So the guy gets his revenge, and I think he promises not to tell the daughter, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And then he kills himself with his own button.
As you do.
Yep. I'd be so worried I'd like accidentally press it one day, just like sit on it or something.
Yeah, that I'm with you there. I'm like, no.
I mean, I'm sure you'd have it locked up somewhere, like, but at the same time, like, yeah, it was a bit weird.
It's an interesting concept, put it that way. It's like, oh shit, wrong button.
Yeah. Oh dear.
But then after he ends him, he offs himself. Daesu does go do not surgery, hypnosis.
Yeah.
Trying to obviously forget it all.
So he goes to like, apparently the winter bit was filmed in New Zealand. I think I was reading. Because it like, I mean, I guess it snows in South Korea, but like not really. It's probably better for filming. So yeah, so he's in like the wilderness. It's not it's not explained how many years after this is or when it is. It's also not really explained if the hypnosis worked.
There's a scene I thought that kind of it gives a look to the camera, which I think is like kind of like maybe it didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, because he just wants to forget that it was his daughter. Well, he wants to forget the whole thing. But yeah, I was reading up about it, and like it's sort of meant to be like an ambiguous ending. Like it's just which is nice. It's up to you if he. I don't know. It depends on if he wants. Yeah, that's weird. It's like, does he want to stay with his daughter, but like forget that it is his daughter?
Yeah, it's like, does he really want to keep, relations ongoing?
Yeah, and she doesn't know, so, yeah, I don't know. But that was the whole film. It was... What did you think of it?
I'm trying to think what I think of it. I like the fight scene.
Yeah.
The story didn't really connect with me as much as I thought it would.
Okay.
Didn't like him fucking his own daughter. That wasn't great.
No, but you didn't know that until the end.
Yeah, and I kind of was like, ugh.
Yeah.
The tongue scene was a bit of a gruesome point, but I don't mind that in films.
I thought it was it's a really good film. Like I would rate it. I'd give it like an 8 or a 9. Actually.
Let me ask you this: would you change it in your list of top tier films then, or is it still number 10?
No. It's not number 10 at all. Like, it's just like the way it was shot, like the way that it like weaved through different genres. Like it wasn't like scared to do anything. I really like that. It was just like, oh, we're gonna have a funny bit. Oh, we're gonna have some action. Like you never knew what was coming next. Oh, you're gonna have some weirdness. I think that's
typical with Korean films, though. They kind of go between all of those genres, don't they?
Yeah. And you can see the influences that this film has on like Squid Games. Especially like the first season. Like the influence it's had on the culture since as well. Like, I mean, I literally haven't watched anything else from Korea, but I can imagine like a lot of things were drawn from this film. Since its release. Because it is like it's a really good film. Yeah. I can't remember what was on my list. I'm gonna be honest. But like, I would rate that really highly. Actually, like, yeah, an 8 or a 9. I might push it to a 9. Like, it was gross, but it was meant to be gross. Like.
I was thinking
it was weird.
7.5, mate.
It was weird, but it was meant to be weird. You know what I mean? Like it was. There was so many emotions and so many genres, and yeah.
I know what you're saying.
You give it a
7.5, mate. I think maybe an 8.
What made it lower for you?
Just don't like those type of movies. Like, I just didn't. It didn't hook me.
No. So where would you put it in your top 10 now?
Oh, it's still 10.
It's still a 10 after all that. No.
100%.
I can't remember. I can't remember what was on your list. I'm gonna be honest, but you had Lord of the Rings quite low on there, and.
I ain't putting it above Lord of the Rings, and I think Lord of the Rings was 8 or 9.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Well, there we go. Are you glad you watched it now?
Yeah, I mean, it's always good watching movies like that. I think it's very good for what it was, but just in terms of, for me, I think 7.5, maybe pushing an 8 at the most.
Okay. We're going to go over Phoebe's notes.
Oh,
Da-da-da-da-da.
Phoebe's notes.
Phoebe's notes. Okay, Phoebe's given it. This is the. I'll give it an overall first. So her overall is a 9. So pretty high there. All right, so we're gonna go over.
Whoa! Fucking whoa!
She's gonna explain.
She gave OldBoy a 9.
Yeah.
But the Vanishing, nah.
That's about what I gave it. She gave the Vanishing an 8.
Exactly.
I'm giving
So
OldBoy
respect for her opinions on films now.
I'm giving OldBoy a higher rating as well. All right, are you ready?
I'm not listening to it anymore.
Okay. So for story, she's giving it an 8.5. Oh, yeah, not my offense.
Okay.
She says it's mental. Probably one of the weirdest plots and most sadistic endings I've ever seen in my watching history. A very compelling story, and again allows the audience to work things out for themselves, leading to the great payoff at the end. Well, it's pretty good. Though we don't necessarily agree with the choices made by the characters, it gives a great account of what can happen when you let your vengeance and revenge rule your life. Equally showing what cowardice can lead me to become. It is not just a tragedy, but a comedy at times, and it turns the line between them magnificently. Yeah, that's fair enough. It's, yeah, pretty much what I said. Acting was a 9 out of 10.
An 8.
Fair enough. So many brilliant performances, but obviously our leading man gives probably one of the best. Consistently towing the line between madness, comedy, and despair. He does such a brilliant job in this movie. Additionally, Yuji Tai, I think that's how you pronounce it. Sorry. Plays such a tremendously bad guy. It is scary at times. Yeah, honestly, the acting was really good in this film. Like basically what you said, like the main character, just going from like funny to like sad to like I'm gonna kill everyone. Yeah. Directing is a 10 out of 10. I'd agree with that. I don't think like I said, like they're not like afraid to do different shots or I think the directing was amazing. She really likes the fight scene. You still there?
Mate, the fight scene is what gave it an 8 for me, otherwise it would have been down in the 7s.
Oh, the fight scene's amazing, yeah. I think that's definitely the highlight, I think. Like the peak of the action. The music, she's given a 8 out of 10.
I would agree with that, yeah. No, I agree with that.
Yeah. Suitably strange, yet supporting the imagery. The cinematography, she's done that again, I don't know why. She's given that an 8 out of 10. This movie's identity and aesthetic is clear throughout. Almost dreary and drab, with moments of colour that match the mood and tone of each scene. Initially juxtapose what is happening. Yeah, I mean that's pretty fair. These the shots were quite lacking of colour.
Yeah, it is a very dark movie, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, and then especially with the flashbacks, like I said, it had that yellow tone on it. Overall 9 out of 10. Brilliant and haunting. I don't think I'll ever forget this movie. I don't think we will ever.
Yeah, I can't. I won't forget that tongue scene out of my mind. That's for sure.
Such a great impact, causing us to question how we might respond when faced with similar decisions. Great, but I probably won't watch again for a while. Yeah,
I think that's a fair assumption. Yeah, I don't think I'll watch ever again. But
no, I don't think I'd watch either of these films again.
No, I think the Vanishing is definitely something that you see once.
Yeah, the Vanishing
maybe twice
if
it's on the TV and you fancy watching it, but I wouldn't go my way to watch it.
It's quite a simple plot as well. Like, I mean, there's things happening, but like once you've seen it, you know what's happening. Like, I might, I don't know, like you just said, like revisiting this in the review. I might have to watch it again just to remember what happens because like I can't really remember. I can't quite remember each scene, but yeah, there was definitely standout moments that like I won't forget. Like, whereas with the Vanishing, like give me a year or two, I probably won't remember it like that well. But yeah, any last thoughts?
I think for me, it was a good film. It just wasn't. It was overhyped in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah, like I said, mate, without the fight scene, it would have been a 7.
Oh, okay, fair enough. No, that's alright. And like you said, you didn't. Well, you haven't said that on here yet, but you weren't too fond of watching things undubbed, so I do find. I find
no.
Sometimes I do find dubs a bit distracting. It depends on what it is, I think. I always like watching subtitled versions, but like I said, it depends on what it is. If it's
so you find the dubs more distracting than the words on the screen flashing about?
Yeah, like I said, it depends on what it is. Like if it's like an anime, I don't mind it dubbed because the characters' mouths aren't like they're not in sync, but they're like it doesn't really matter. Whereas when it's like dubbed, you can hear it's in the studio. You can hear it's like you can like the mouths don't match. Like it just that kind of throws me off more, and it kind of takes me out of the experience. But yeah, I don't know. There's sort of like pros and cons between it because sometimes if you're watching the subtitles, you're not seeing what's happening on screen. Because you're so like you're trying to follow it like word for word. So I get there's pros and cons to both sides. It's just whatever you feel you're more comfortable with, I suppose.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll leave it there. Thank you for joining me, Craig, on this week's podcast.
Anytime, mate.
Yeah, and we'll see you guys next week when Craig's got an amazing adventure for us to go on.
I do. Yes, it's gonna be one for the pod history books. Our history books, I would say.
Yeah, just our history books. No, I'm joking. Alright, well, thank you for listening, everyone, and we shall see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.